Today, I want to dive into a fascinating and often controversial topic, the potential decline of the US empire. This is an excerpt from an insightful discussion by Professor Richard Wolff, an economics professor known for his sharp critiques and deep dives into global power dynamics. Now, let's start with the US military presence. With over 800 military bases scattered around the globe, the United States is in a league of its own. This vast network isn't just expensive, it's a double-edged sword. While it aims to protect national interests, it also sends a message of dominance and control, especially in regions like Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Take Taiwan, for instance. The US military presence in the South China Sea isn't genuinely about Taiwan's security. Instead, it's a symbolic stance against China. This fuels Chinese rhetoric that the US wants to curb its economic rise, providing China with the perfect narrative to cast itself as a victim of Western aggression. Is this entirely true? Maybe. Maybe not. But perception is powerful, and the US is certainly giving China the ammunition it needs. Then there's the war in Ukraine. Many Europeans are growing increasingly opposed to this conflict, viewing it as a disastrous mistake. The economic toll on European nations is severe, leading to cuts in social programs to fund a war that many feel is unnecessary. This discontent is reflected in recent elections in Britain, France, and Germany, where traditional politicians are being rejected in favour of anti-establishment or populist parties. In the UK, the Conservative Party has been in power for years, but working-class conditions have deteriorated. Brexit, driven by anti-European sentiments, was supposed to be a solution, but it has only worsened the economic situation. This parallels the U.S. quote, scapegoating of immigrants, a simplistic approach that fails to address real systemic issues. France and Germany are also experiencing significant political shifts. In France, President Macron's centrist party recently came in third behind a supposedly far-right party and a coalition of leftist groups. In Germany, a right-wing quasi-fascist party gained significant support in the eastern regions, and a Marxist candidate, Sarah Wagenknecht, surged in popularity. These shifts reflect widespread disillusionment with the status quo, as voters increasingly reject mainstream politicians who fail to address their concerns. Professor Wolff draws parallels between this political upheaval in Europe and what's happening in the US. As working-class Americans grow increasingly frustrated with both Republicans and Democrats, the US could face a similar rejection of conventional politicians. The decline of the British Empire serves as a cautionary tale with its current political and economic struggles, reminding us of the consequences of ignoring systemic problems. So, is the US empire in decline? It's a complex question with no easy answers. But one thing is clear: failing to address the real issues facing the country could lead to further political instability, much like what we're seeing in Europe.